Hello everyone, just taking a moment to settle myself, listening to this beautiful music here in the background. Hopefully you can hear it. Sometimes a little difficult for me to gauge what you can hear through this Facebook Live format. This is beautiful piano music. It's lovely. So welcome. This is our River Flow Yoga midday Blissful Warrior yoga session. Actually going to lower this just a bit. Hopefully it doesn't take away from you being able to hear it. I'm Rhonda Uretsky. I'm the owner of River Flow Yoga, and we are a hot yoga studio located in Lambertville, New Jersey. If you are one of our students coming to this session, hello Linda, welcome. If you're new to yoga, welcome. If you've never done hot yoga, don't worry. We are coming to you here on Facebook Live. We're going to be offering a variety of different kinds of yoga. Hot yoga happens to be fantastic. If you've never tried it before, you can check our schedule and see that we are offering hot yoga classes here on Facebook Live every day. But in the midday, I'm going to be bringing you this session called Blissful Warrior Yoga and Meditations. So I have been a yoga teacher and a mindfulness coach for about 45 years. About 45 years now. So I've done and taught, practiced, and studied with many, many different kinds of yogas, and I have to tell you that they're all absolutely. And the best part right now for me and for anybody who is a yoga student is having a practice like this to sort of lean against during these times when nothing seems very certain. Nothing seems like a good foundation under your feet. The news changes constantly. It's not even daily anymore. It's just constantly. It's nice to be able to have a practice that makes you feel like yourself, despite what the outside conditions might be. You know, I'd like to say that this has always been true. You are yourself, despite what any outside conditions might look like, or sound like, or even feel like in the moment. There is this part of you, and it is the larger part of you that has a certainty in your own well-being. And if you extrapolate that out, you can actually feel the well-being of everyone around you and the planet at large. But that's a very big, tall order right now. So here in our Blissful Warrior sessions, we're just going to focus on the well-being of you, how to not only cultivate it, but to remember it. Because I'm going to assert that this feeling of well-being isn't something you have to learn. It's really something that you're born with. The ability of knowing that you have the answers that you need inside of you, and you know what to do in any given situation. Sometimes when we say that, it sort of sounds like you know how to face all of the problems that are out there. I'd like to introduce the idea that the things that happen around you are not necessarily problems. They're just things that are happening around you. And your reaction to these things, while totally normal, no matter what they are, and I am going to invite you when you come here to this Blissful Warrior Yoga to allow yourself your reactions. You know, don't be hard on yourself if you're angry or upset or depressed or despairing. Whatever it is that you feel, don't judge yourself for it. Don't be upset with yourself for it. Just notice that this is how you're feeling in this moment. And then if you have a desire to feel just a little bit better, to give yourself back that place of certainty, then that's what I'd like to help you accomplish while we're here today. And every day. I'm here every day at 12:30. Today I was a little late, 12:37. But this is my practice, my Blissful Warrior practice, and I'm here to share it with you. You know, I've said this before, there are a lot of people online right now offering many, many different kinds of teachings. And so many of them are so wonderful and so adaptable to your own life. I'd like you, if possible, to not fall into the trap of thinking that anyone outside of you has the right answer for you. All of these things that you learn from other people are things that you get to try on and see if they resonate, because inside of you are all of the answers that you need. And what we're going to do here in Blissful Warrior Yoga is just learn to listen, to reconnect with that part of you that feels so familiar. At first, it feels a little bit challenging to get back to that place. We're so used to listening to advice from others and taking our information from other sources. And all of those sources are wonderful adjuncts, wonderful additions to that knowing that you have inside of you that we sometimes cover over. We sometimes dismiss that knowing, those gut feelings, those moments of inspirations, those feelings that people say, or maybe you've even said, that you just knew the answer. You just knew what to do in that moment. That's your inner wisdom. That's your inner genius. And the beauty part of it is that everyone's inner genius is specifically individual to them. So you never have to ask for advice. You never have to give advice. You can simply know that everyone has the answers inside of them that they need for themselves. And you can see that for them and see that for yourself and reconnect with it and feel how wonderful it actually is. Great feeling of freedom. Now again, if you have your knee-jerk reactions to whatever situations are around you at the moment, whatever annoying or irritating or upsetting or fearful situations are around you at the moment, that's fine. I invite you to accept all of your reactions. And again, if you have a desire to just feel a little bit better in this moment, then your reactions might have warranted to a situation that was upsetting. That's what we're here for. All right, once again, I'm going to lower this music. I think you hear it lower than I do, but I'm going to keep it very background. So as we begin this practice, we're going to have an arrival. Seems a little obvious to arrive in the place where you are, but many of us don't do it. We just go from one thing to the next, and we never take that moment to sort of settle into the segment that you are about to experience. So I'm going to invite you to find a comfortable position. I'm seated here on the floor in that classic yogi position. You don't have to do this. If this position is comfortable for me after 45 years doing yoga, but if your comfortable position is seated in a chair, lying on the ground, I invite you to lie on your back. If that's a little challenging, you can bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on the ground and place your palms on your thighs or arms at your sides. Here with my knees bent, I'm going to keep my hands, my palms down and on my knees. So in your comfortable position, this might be the first time in a long time that you have stopped to ask yourself, what feels good to me? Not, what am I supposed to be doing? What is the teacher telling me to do? What is the right or wrong way to do this? Let's put all of that aside. Let's just put a pin in all of those thoughts and ask yourself, what feels comfortable for me right now? I'm going to invite you to really explore what feels good to you, because in that good feeling is your inner genius. That's where your inner genius resides, in those good feelings that you're called to, and you're called in every moment. The only question is, are you willing to go? Do you need an excuse to have to feel good? Do you need to earn it? Do you need to validate it? Do you need to hedge it or rationalize it? Do you need to apologize for it? Habits. We're going to let all of those go right here in this session. So you have now found your comfortable seated position. I am going to strongly advise that you have some water and that you drink water a lot. Not only during the in all the days of your life. Our bodies are a huge percentage water, and when we continue to add water, it flushes through and it gives you that really beautiful feeling of freedom in your soul, and certainly helps things to flush through your physical anatomy. So I have my water by me. If you'd like to run and grab some water for yourself, please do. Remember, everything that I'm telling you, I don't want you to do anything that I say. I'd like you to just be open to experiencing it and seeing how it feels for you. So in this arrival practice, you have found a comfortable position for your body, And maybe you have some water by you. Maybe you'd like to take a sip before we begin. And we'll begin this arrival practice by just checking in for a moment. So if your emotional scale was anywhere from 1 to 10, with 1 being very, very relaxed, almost sleeping, and 10 being extremely agitated, just close your eyes and check in for a moment and see what number you would give yourself. Let it just be the first number that comes to your mind. Again, that habit of second-guessing ourselves or needing to explain why or thinking we're wrong for whatever number we've come up with. It's a strong old habit. But right now, the first number that you've come up with, just know that's the one that came from your gut. It's about it. It's just where you are. This is your starting place to accept that you are. It seems sort of common sense and nonsensical to say it, but many of us don't accept where we are. And by accept it, I mean just be okay that this is your starting point. I'm going to give myself about a 4. And in your comfortable seated position or lying down position, we'll take some deep breaths. Now, deep breathing here is going to be in and out through your nose, but imagining that it's passing through a hole in the back of your throat. So the sound that you make is like a big, strong ocean sound. Or, you used to put a seashell to your ear, that sound. Or maybe the sound of Darth Vader breathing. Whichever of these noises resonates for you most, feels the most like what you'd like to do, that's the sound you're going for. So, as you inhale through your nose, hear it in the back of your throat. And as you exhale through your nose, hear it again in the back of your throat. And here are some little tips for adjusting your body to coordinate with the breathing that might feel good to you. So as you inhale, pull your collarbones wide apart. So try not to thrust your chest forward or squeeze your shoulder blades together. Have this sensation that your collarbones are being drawn apart, as if they're in some kind of a traction machine and they're being pulled. So you can feel that side-to-side pull that will also pull your shoulders down. Inhale. And as you exhale, keep your collarbones pulling wide apart and let your chin drop just a little. So we're not trying to drop the head, but many of us have the chin thrust, right? It's just an old habit of pushing your chin out so your head lays somewhere beyond your neck. And now we just want to put the head back. So if the chin drops down a little bit, everything softens, not only in your head, but the back of your neck, those bones. Cervical spine begins to expand a little bit. You begin to experience your spine as more of a slinky as you make these little adjustments. So inhale, pull your collarbones wide apart. And as you exhale, allow your chin to drop. Hearing that ha sound in the back of your throat. Now notice I'm not telling you to empty your mind. These are classic, beautiful things to do for beginning a meditation. But mind is very, very busy and it has lots of old habits. And a lot of times when you aren't able to follow the instructions, the meditator's instructions, you get angry at yourself. Nobody needs that. We're not here to have more judgments about ourselves. We just remember arriving in this moment as you are. Take a deep breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, just again allowing your chin to drop, hearing that sound come out the back of your throat. When you're at the bottom of your exhale, imagine tucking your tailbone a little bit up. So your tailbone is going to come a little up towards your belly. And this feels like a little bit of relief on your lower back. And it doesn't matter whether you're sitting or lying down, that little tuck of the tailbone and pull of the collarbones is going to help you feel that slinkiness in your body, that flexibility that you didn't think you had, but that you actually can call upon. Inhale. Collarbones pulling wide. Exhale. Allowing your your chin to drop. Maybe lean back a little bit. Let your tailbone tuck up and under a little. You're tucking your tailbone up and under while you're sitting on the floor or in a chair. It almost feels like you're slightly hovering above the floor. And if you're doing it while you're lying on the ground, it feels like your lower back is dropping down more and more, as if someone has slipped a very soothing hand under the small of your back and you're dropping into it. Inhale. Collarbones wide, pulling them apart, hearing the sound in your throat, and exhale. Inhale. Hold it here at the top. Pull your collarbones wide. Exhale, drop your chin. Letting your tailbone tuck up and under a little. One more. Inhale. And exhale. So in this breathing, in this settling, you've arrived in this moment. That doesn't mean that your mind isn't still racing, isn't still thinking about other things, but you have actually separated yourself from the moments that came before and done something that actually settles you into this particular moment. And however you feel settled right now is fine. Right? Remember, no judgments. Let's not put any resistant judgments on top of what actually is. Meaning that if you're still a little agitated, if you find that your emotional number on that scale of 1 to 10 hasn't changed all that much, or if it has changed a lot, these are all equal observances. They're just things that you're observing. You're not judging, because you're not here trying to accomplish anything. You're here to remember who you already are. That part's already accomplished. You're here to reconnect with it and to feel the pleasure of it. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe your body feels a little lighter now. If you continue pulling your collarbones wide apart, your body will start to feel lighter, especially in the chest. You might feel a little ache in your shoulders as this new opening is created, but it feels pleasurable, right? This sort of ache feels like an awakening. And as you let your chin drop and the back of your neck starts to loosen up a little bit, again, you just feel more settled, your head more settled on your neck. Your collarbones nice and wide, so your chest is open and your breathing is less labored. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so if you were sitting on a chair, come to the floor. If you were lying on your back, roll over onto your side and push yourself up into a seated position. And bring your legs out in front of you. So we're going to move from this very calm, here you are in this moment, arrival, into some gentle movement. Now you might not feel this movement is gentle. It might feel pretty stretchy and deep and profound for you. Again, everything that we're doing here is for you to feel how it feels for yourself and to know, to have a sense of certainty that whatever you're feeling is appropriate for you in this moment. That goes for physically and emotionally. The one caveat is if you feel any pain anytime we do any of these movements, just back it down a little bit to a place that's got a little less depth to it. Pain is a whole different message. It's still your inner genius giving you a very important message. And for now, let's just say that message is just gone too far today. Not really ready to take it to that place right now. So bring your legs out in front of you. And pull forward from your heels towards the wall in front of you and flex your toes towards your face. And place your palm your just below your knees, or sometimes you have really long arms. That would not be my case. And you'll have your palms on your knees, wherever your palms fall, for your legs to be straight and your arms to be locked. Now, you might not be able to get your legs straight today, so that's fine. Then bend your knees, but you can get your arms straight. So locking your arms with your palms either on your knees or just below. Pull forward from your heels and let your toes be flexing towards your face, and rotate your kneecaps inward. So your body has so many fantastic muscles that are all working to keep you in balance. And oftentimes these muscles here on the outside of our thighs and even some ligaments in the knees tend to be a little bit twisted because we all walk with a bit of a turnout. And watch people walk in front of you or beside you, and you'll notice that even as they're walking forward, their feet are turned out, so that does some twisting here to these ligaments. But as you're on the floor, pulling from your heels and flexing your toes, you can rotate your knees inward, and you can feel something sort of lining up all the way up into your hips. Keep your arms locked, let your chin be dropped, still your collarbones are wide. Pulling from your heels, take a deep breath. Inhale. And exhale, letting your chin drop a little. Continue that pull from your heels. Feel that stretch feels on the bottoms of your feet. And keep rotating your knees inward. They'll want to splay out, old habit. But notice the difference in how it feels when they're turned in a little bit. Inhale. And exhale. So you can begin to feel how these yoga poses have an effect on your emotional state. Usually a pleasurable effect, something that feels, I don't even want to give it the words good or bad, it just feels like you. This feels like who you really are. As you inhale, pull from your heels. Exhale, flex the toes towards your face, rotate your knees in, lock your arms. You can lift your chest a little and drop your chin. All little nuances. Takes just these little bits to bring you back to yourself. So yoga is not a struggle. It's not an effort. It's not a competition. It's just a very gentle path back to yourself. Inhale. And exhale. Drop your chin. Pull your collarbones. Lock your arms. And now as you inhale, slowly begin to slide your hands up towards your thighs and place your hands behind you. So I'm going to be turning myself a little bit so you can watch these poses, but you don't actually have to watch them to do them. You can listen to the instructions, but you also don't have to keep turning your body in the camera. That's just me. All right. So place your palms behind you, and your arms become like kickstands, right? Really good and strong. Your wrists are facing towards your spine, and your fingertips will face towards the wall behind you. And lock your arms and begin to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pull your toes now towards the wall in front of you. So instead of pulling with your heels, now you're pulling with your toes. And drop your chin and lock your arms and pull. Pull from your toes and lock your arms. And begin to lift your breastbone towards the ceiling. Now, if your neck is in some way challenged, stop right there. Just feel that squeezing together of your shoulder blades, locking your arms, and lifting your chest as you pull your toes forward. And if you don't have any issues with your neck, you might want to go all the way back. Just letting your head drop back as you keep your elbows locked. Your shoulder blades squeezing together, lifting from your breastbone and pointing your toes forward as you pull. Pull from the toes, lift the chest up, lift, hanging your head back. If this feels good, you can think about pulling your chin into the wall behind you as you pull your toes towards the wall in front of you. And exhale. and change. Slowly coming back. Keep your arms locked. Keep your toes pulling. Just replacing your head on top of your neck again. And then coming forward and replace your palms on your knees or below. Pulling from your heels and flexing your toes. And take a deep breath. Wow. So I started this class with a bit of a headache. And that just cleared it up. Now, if you started with a headache and it didn't clear it up for you, that's fine. I'm just sharing my experience with you. I'm not telling you this is the way it's supposed to be. I'm inviting you to experience all of this for yourself. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. You know, as you begin to practice and you begin to notice how much judgment we have about ourselves, how many things come up in our minds that are telling us we're right or wrong for doing this or that, and then we get those judgments and we put them on other people. It really becomes quite an awakening when you realize how much judgment, and not in a good way, you aim at yourself. Now again, sometimes when I first start teaching people about dropping self-judgment, they put the judgment of their self-judgment on top of that. And now there's this judging yourself or being upset with yourself for being so judgmental of yourself and others. It's just an old kind of loop, right? Just notice that it might happen, and maybe after a while it'll just be amusing. But none of this is meant to make you feel badly about who you are in this moment. It's all really about, I am where I am. And any place that you are is a fantastic starting place for any place you'd like to get to. So that's sort of comforting. You don't have to be any particular way in this moment to start yoga or to start a practice or to feel better about things. You can be exactly who you are and exactly where you are and start this step by step. And it's not even a journey where you're supposed to get to some great end result. The journey itself is the pleasure. So it doesn't matter if your poses look perfect or feel perfect, if you come here with a headache today or you're activated at a level 10 when you show up. All of these are your starting places, and they're all valid, and they're all acceptable, and they're all fantastic. So take a breath. I'm just going to sit with that thought for a moment. I am where I am, and it's a great starting place for me. Inhale. And exhale. All right, let's do a little separate leg stretching. So, bringing your legs out in front of you. Your right leg will come out to the side about 45 degrees, and right away you'll start pulling from the right heel and flexing the toes towards your face. Now, if your knee is bent, and that's where you are, then guess what? You are where you are. Perfectly fine. All right, bring your left leg to bend and place the sole of your left foot against your inner right thigh. And if you find that challenging for you to do, again, you're going to do these instructions to the best of your ability today. And it would really be nice if after every move you made, you could sort of reinforce to yourself, this is where I am. And this is a great starting place. Inhale, bring your arms overhead and clasp all 10 fingers into a nice strong net. So all the way to the webbing. Almost everyone can do that webbing thing with the fingers, but maybe not everyone can begin to pull the knuckles towards the ceiling and straighten the elbows and lock the biceps to your head. So you're going to go to the place, in all these instructions, you're going to find your place of self-acceptance. And then turn your torso towards your outstretched leg. You might lean it back a little bit as you take a deep breath. And as you exhale, throw this net of fingers over the ball of your right foot and bring your forehead to your knee. Now, if your knee was already bent, or you had to bend it up more to get all 10 fingers on the ball of the foot, that's fine. And drop your forehead to your knee. And again, you might have to bend your knee to get your forehead to your knee. So, guess what? You are where you are. and it's your perfect be in this moment called the present moment where you've arrived. And breathe into it. Inhale. And exhale. And as you inhale, come back up. And keep those arms over your head. And clasp all 10 fingers into a nice strong net. And if you can squeeze your biceps to your head, great. And if you can't, you go where you can. And then we'll alternate the legs, just using the abdominal wall. Everybody has an abdominal wall, so you can all do this to some extent. Bring your left leg out 45 degrees and the sole of the right foot up against the inner left thigh. Again, if your left leg is bent at the knee, I am where I am. You know, it's a really great mantra to just repeat. I am where I am. And that's fine. That's my starting place. As you inhale, stretch. Turn towards your outstretched leg. Maybe lean it back a little bit. And as you exhale, pulling from your heel, flexing the toes towards your face. Get that net of fingers over the ball of your foot, even if you have to bend your left knee up to do it. And then drop your chin as if you're trying to see your own throat and press your forehead to your knee. And breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. And then change. So bring that net up over your head. And now bring your legs out in front of you again. Pull from your heels and flex your toes towards your face. And again, if your knees are bent, if they're not straightened out at this point, you are where you are. Perfectly fine. Inhale, stretch to the ceiling, lean it back a little, and as you exhale, coming forward, and see if you can throw the net over the balls of both feet. Or if not, maybe you can hold your ankles or your shins or your knees. Arrive where you are and look at the wall in front of you. It's not round in this pose. Look at the wall in front of you, and as you inhale, lift your chest, pull your collarbones wide, let your chin drop a little. And as you exhale, begin to bend your elbow tips a little bit. As you bend your elbow tips, especially if your legs are straight, you'll feel yourself being drawn forward by the breastbone. And you can just sit here for a moment and notice where you feel emotions in your body without judgment. Unless it's pain, then I definitely want you to judge that one. I want you to back down a little bit. But everything else that you feel is just a moment of awakening. It's just a sensation in your body, and you can be present for it. Inhale, pull your collarbones wide, let your chin drop a little bit, and as you exhale, maybe you want to try to pull your heels a little more towards the wall in front of you and flex the toes towards your face. If you'd like to have the sensation of your legs being straight, you can actually say it in your mind. Every time you exhale your breath, relax my knees, relax my knees, and change. So beginning to slide your hands back up until your elbows are locked wherever your palms might be resting. For me, it's right below my. Pull from your heels, flex the toes towards your face, pull your collarbones wide, rotate your knees in, chest and face are parallel to the wall in front of you. Breath. Inhale, again through your nose, but hear it in the back of your throat. Exhale through your nose and hearing it in the back of your throat. Feels great. My headache is really dissipating. Thank you guys for being here with me. Let's do a little spinal twist. So bend your left knee, so the left knee will point towards the camera. If this again isn't available to you, you can keep your left leg straight out. I'll bend mine. Bring your right leg up and over so that your right heel touches the left knee corner. Now notice when I do it and when you do it, one of your hips, the right hip, will come up into the air. So pull that heel out from under the hip and settle the hip down. You may have to lean a little to the right to get it to settle. That's fine. You can check by trying to fit your hands, your fingertips under your hips. Right? If they don't, hips are settled and you're good. Bring your right arm behind you against your spine. So this is your kickstand arm again. Remember we had that kickstand arm thing before. Left arm by your ear, straight up to 12 o'clock. Bend at the elbow. Come down around the outside of your knee. Push your knee with your elbow. And then reach your hand down and grab hold of the top edge of your towel or mat. So get a real good palm full. Should have told you to sit on a towel or mat before we started. So if you're not, go ahead and place your fingertips on the ground. That's fine too. As you inhale, lift your chest, pull your collarbones wide, drop your chin. Notice how those things keep coming back in every pose. And then as you exhale, bring your right shoulder way behind you with your chin dropped. You're going to be looking for your right shoulder. But here's the thing. Never let yourself find your right shoulder. So I'm going to turn a little bit and show you what that looks like. I can't tell you what it feels like. I can tell you that it feels really wonderful and soothing to me, and hopefully to you too. But as you twist, you keep this arm either holding the mat or towel or fingertips on the ground. I'm actually going to slip my hand under my knee, and you keep rotating your right shoulder with your chin dropped, and you keep looking for the right shoulder, but never let yourself find it. It's very easy to just keep moving that right shoulder back and let your eyes go looking for it, and notice how your spine just wants to twist and twist and twist. Oh, a whole lot of clicks going on in my spine. Feels great. And let's do the other side. So as you release, just come back to center for a moment. Take a breath. And let's alternate. So either bend the right knee, knee forward towards the camera, or right leg straight out, left leg up and over, the heel touching the knee corner, pulling the heel out now from under your left hip, settling the left hip down. Checking, both hips down. Left arm back, there's your kickstand arm, it's locked. Right arm up by bend at the elbow, coming down around the knee to push the knee away, reach your hand down, and slip it either under your knee, if you don't have to pull your knee up, or hold that top edge of your towel or mat. I'm going to turn a little again to the side, just visually so you can see what's going on. Inhale, lift your chest, pull your collarbones wide and drop your chin. And as you exhale, move that left shoulder behind you, keeping your chin dropped, keep looking for the left shoulder. But remember, the moment you catch a glimpse of it, you pull it back some more. It's like a little game you're playing, trying to see your left shoulder, but never let yourself see your left shoulder. Just twist and twist and twist, twist and change. And back to center. Wow, I have to say these twists are just fantastic for my headache. You know, I hesitate to say they're good for everybody's headaches. You have to try it for yourself. But when you have a practice and you can feel drawn to do some of these poses that you learned in a yoga practice, you might be surprised to find that you're inspired to do the very poses that are going to soothe you in this moment. Now, how does that work? Because you have inner wisdom. You have your own inner genius. And the things that you feel like doing or are inspired to do or feel good when you think about doing them, those are the very things that are here to serve you on this particular day, in this particular moment. That's why there are no hard and fast rules like this is what you do for a headache, this is what you do when you're having a stomach ache, this is what you do when you're angry or upset. Just know that there are things that you can do to soothe yourself. And as you quiet yourself, as you quiet to the outer conditions, the inner genius will get a little bit louder, and you'll be guided to do those very things that are the exact things that will serve you. And you know, the beauty of this, especially for the people that I'm speaking to, We all want to take care of our children. Of course, we want to take care of more than our children. Some of us have extended family members and partners and friends, and we all so want to take care of each other. And there's nothing wrong with that desire to help. But you can also know that everybody has an inner genius, and everybody can know exactly what's right for them to do. And maybe your most inspiring service to everybody else is to simply see them that way, to know that they're completely capable of their own inner guidance, and maybe even encouraging them to quiet down enough to be able to hear it. All right, let's lie down. Lying on your back, we'll start with a pose called Shavasana. Arms at your sides, palms facing up. Heels are touching, toes flopped apart. Pull your collarbones wide and let your chin tuck, as if you're almost trying to nestle your chin between your collarbones. But keep those shoulder blades pulling wide. Your arms are relaxed, your fingers are relaxed. And take a deep breath. Inhale, balloon your belly out. And as you exhale again, you hear it in the back of your throat. You keep your collarbones wide and your chin tucked, and you allow your lower back to drop as if someone has slipped a hand under the small of your back and you're dropping into it now. Inhale. And as you exhale, collarbones wide, chin tucked, drop your lower back down. And inhale, turn your palms to the ground. Bring your arms under your body so you'll find your hips on your wrists or maybe even a little above your wrists. And place your hips down on those wrists or a little above. Begin to squeeze your shoulder blades together under your body. Keep your chin tucked and point all 10 toes towards the wall in front of you. So you're pointing your toes and squeezing your shoulder blades together. You feel your chest start to lift. And again, if you have any neck problems or issues or worries or concerns, stay right here and breathe. And if not, if you'd like to follow the deeper instructions, as you inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together and begin to feel the body weight come into your elbow tips as you lift your chest, pull from your toes, and let your head come up off the mat, keeping your shoulder blades squeezed together. The weight in your elbow tips, let your head hang. Now, if your head is hanging, it's not touching the ground. No pressure on the top of your head. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades, lifting your chest, pointing your toes, and letting your chin pull towards the wall behind you. As your toes pull towards the wall in front of you, lift your chest a little bit more. Inhale. And as you exhale, begin to ease yourself back down. Letting your elbow tips bring you back down. Your chin comes back to neutral. The back of your head on the mat. Lying on your back, bring your arms out from under you. Take a deep breath. Back in Shavasana. Arms at your side, facing up. Heels touch, toes flopped apart. Collarbones nice and wide, chin tucked. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your lower back into that waiting hand at the small of your back with every exhale. Again, inhale, balloon your belly out. Hear it in the breath in the back of your throat. And exhale, deflate. Keep your collarbones wide. Drop your chin. And drop your lower back. Now we're going to do a yoga sit-up. If you have any back issues, you're not. You might choose to bend your knees, bring your hands in prayer, roll yourself over onto your side, and just stay there. If you'd like to try the yoga sit-up, inhale your arms overhead. Pull from your fingers, flex your heels towards the wall in front of your chin as you pull, stretch, bring your breath in, stretch, hold your breath, and sit up. Reach up for the ceiling, long spine. Again, I'm going to adjust myself, but you don't have to. Look at the wall in front of you and reach forward. Grab your big toes. Bend your elbows and double jerk, double exhale through your mouth. Shh, shh, and then drop forehead to knees. Great. All right, let's do a couple more beautiful elongations for your spine. We'll do Ardha Karmasana, half tortoise. So sitting back, hips to heels. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Press all 10 fingers are up and pointing towards the ceiling, and you can cross your thumbs and squeeze your head with your biceps. See if you can imagine that your biceps are holding your head onto your neck, so you have to squeeze them in close. As you stretch to the ceiling with your fingertips, exhale under a little bit. Remember that tailbone pointing up a little towards the belly, and then inhale again and lift your chest. Pull from your fingertips. Feel that long, slinky spine, and as you exhale, pull from your fingertips forward, seeing if you can keep your head between your arms and your hips on your heels as you pull forward and down, aiming the spot between your eyebrows to the mat first. And then the blades of your fingers, pinky fingers. Now you're all the way down and start to slide on the blades of your pinkies so your arms feel really pulled. You're going to feel that achy drag in your shoulders. It's really a beautiful awakening happening across your traps and your shoulders. Chin away from your throat. You're balanced on the spot between your eyebrows. And you can do a little fishtailing with your hands, getting even more stretch. And then dig down into the blades of your pinkies so your wrists are cocked up on an angle. Your elbows are locked. Push back from the blades of your pinky fingers and feel your hips settle down more towards your heels. Now your hips might be way above your heels, so that's fine. You are where you are. Inhale. Exhale. And change. Coming out of the pose, pull your fingertips forward, lock your arms, palms, and begin to pull yourself up from the fingertips with your head between your arms, stretching all the way up to the ceiling, getting that beautiful long slinky spine feeling stretch, and then drop your arms down, and let's turn around and lie down again in Shavasana. So lying on your back, bring your legs out, arms at your sides, palms facing up, your heels touch, your toes flopped apart, tuck your chin, keep your eyes open. Right? You've arrived in this present moment. Let's see if you can stay here. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Collarbones wide, chin dropped, and lower back dropping down on the exhale. Hear that breath in the back of your throat as you inhale. And exhale. And now inhale, bend both knees. Place the soles of your feet on the ground. Turn your palms over and bring your arms under your body. Once again, palms are facing down and your hips are on your wrists. Begin to squeeze your shoulder blades together and tuck your chin. And squeeze your legs together like one leg out of two. Keeping your shoulder blades drawn together, your collarbones drawn wide apart. Rise up off your heels, your arches, your toes, and your chest. Tuck your chin towards your knees. Keep your collarbones wide apart. Relax your feet. And just hold here and breathe. Relax your hands. Relax your feet. Keep your collarbones pulling wide and your chin tucked down and breathe. Inhale. And as you exhale, begin to pull from your heels towards the wall in front of you. Flex the toes towards your face and rotate your knees in a little bit. And inhale, collarbones wide, chin dropped, and as you exhale, slowly begin to raise the soles of your feet to the ceiling. So keep pulling from your heels and flexing the toes towards your face. Keep your knees rotated inward towards each other. And eventually you'll be holding the ceiling up with the soles of your feet. And when you are, Your knees can be bent or your legs can be straight. Right? They are what they are. You are what you are. And you are right here in this moment experiencing what you feel. Inhale, pull from your heels, flex your toes. Keep your collarbones pulling wide and your chin tucked down. And now as you exhale, pull hard from your heels and begin to lower your legs. Now I want you to imagine that your legs are being held ankles by a pulley system, like pulley ropes from the ceiling, and they're being lowered down. And your whole job as they're being lowered is to keep pulling from your heels, flexing the toes towards your face, and rotating your knees inward. And just let the ropes lower you down, keeping it nice and slow, tucking your chin, keeping your collarbones pulled wide. Just keep pulling from your heels, flexing the toes towards your face, rotate your kneecaps inward, coming down slowly. And whenever your heels touch down, lift your hips lightly, roll your arms out from under you, and come back into your Shavasana. With your palms facing up, your heels touching and toes flocked apart, collarbones wide, chin tucked, and take a breath. Inhale and exhale. And just lie here in Shavasana for a while. This will be the end of our class. I'm actually going to bring myself back up to a seated position here in the front, and you can lie here in Shavasana and breathe. You can come back to seated if you'd like. But really, the end of this class is about really seeing where you are right now. Remembering where you were when you first arrived, that's already the past. It's not the present moment anymore, it's a memory. And feeling where you are right now. Now, again, here come those judgment thoughts, right? I don't feel any different. I should feel better. Why isn't my headache gone? That's what my friend Mary calls the yada, 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 right? It's that little voice in your head that's just always trying to make you wrong. But you're fine the way you are. You are where you are. It's such a simple, but sometimes a very strange one for us to accept, especially if you find yourself in a place that you don't like. And there's a lot of stuff going on around us right now that we don't like. And it's changing. So just when you think you've got a handle on it, it slips out from under you again. I'd like to suggest that life has always been this way. Nothing is permanent. Everything moves. And that's a good thing, right? The movement of life is a powerful, pleasant thing to experience. Nobody likes feeling stuck or stagnant. And as much as you might think that you want to be still and steady, it won't last for long. You won't want to be stopped and stuck in place, no matter how good that place might feel for the moment. But you do want to be able to enjoy every moment that you're in as the present moment experience that's available to you, with the knowledge that it will change. Now, most of us, I'm going to say just about all of us, don't really have a choice right now but to embrace the idea that change is here. Change is continual, happening, and it is something that we're going to continue to experience on a very large scale in just about every aspect of our lives, all over the world, every day, for a very long time. So you really do have a choice. You can embrace this idea that, well, that's the way life has always been, and I'm just beginning to experience this now. Or you can resist it for a while longer until eventually that resistant part of you will grow weary and you'll arrive in the present moment. So this Blissful Warrior practice, it's called the Blissful Warrior because I intend to be a warrior about being blissful. I'm not going to push or struggle or make an effort to make things happen outside of myself the way that I think they should, but I am going to be very diligent about noticing where I am, being in the present moment of it, and seeing how I can soothe myself into enjoying the present moment. And that is what it means to be a blissful warrior. So, here you are in your Shavasana. We've spent about an hour together here. Take some deep breaths. Inhale. And exhale, again, hearing it in the back of your throat. If you're lying in Shavasana, it's a beautiful time to really take deep breaths. You're not really supporting your body anymore. You're allowing the floor to support you. And inhale. And exhale, allowing your chin to drop, allowing your lower back to drop. And inhale. And exhale. You are not only fine where you are, you're exactly where you're meant to be. In this present moment, where everything, including all of your power, is available to you. From this present moment, you can get anywhere you want, and you can stay and enjoy the present moment as well. And the rest of your life starts in this present moment. You cannot go into the future and create your life. You can't go back into the past and create your life. All of your power is right here in the present moment. And if you allow yourself to arrive here, you're going to discover that it's actually a very pleasurable place to be. Om Shanti. Thank you for joining me today for this Blissful Warrior meditative yoga practice. We are here on Facebook Live from Riverflow Yoga, myself and my variety of teachers of Riverflow Teachers, and we are teaching here 7 days a week, 2 and 3 times a day. We have Blissful Warrior Yoga, we have Hot Yoga, we have a beautiful practice called Yoga Nidra to send you off to a restful sleep. So if you'd like to know our full schedule, it's on our website at riverflow-yoga.com/schedule, or you can just keep your Facebook page open and we will pop up 2 and 3 times a day. This evening, Thursday night, we have Hot Yoga practice with Paula at 6. If you'd like to try Hot Yoga, I highly recommend it. It's a very beautifully challenging and meditative practice. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for letting me share my practice with you. Go off into your day and see if you can really enjoy being where you are. Om Shanti, peace and happiness and soothing and empowerment to all of you.